How are you doing and how have you been? My name's Tazastical and this is my quick basic Rimworld guide for beginners, this time explaining the long-range scanners. After researching the long-range scanner research, you can build the long-range scanners. When operated, it roughly takes about 4 in-day work to then be able to find a deposit of ore. Every ore in the game can be discovered with the ground penetrating scanner. By clicking on the scanner and selecting what you want it tuned to, you can find these glorious goodness. When the long range scanner completes a scan, a notification will pop up, triggering a quest on a random nearby world tile. If the tile is not entered within 30 days, it will expire. When you go to the world map, you can identify the resources found in the long range scanner by these mining items and where it says lump of compacted machinery or lump of gold. It will also see here under time left if there are any enemies waiting to attack you or ambush you. Lucky for me, I have neither. The long range scanner is a research job. If you have a research table, that will be prioritized first, so it might be worth either turning these off, so then people will prioritize the long range scanner. Equally, you can choose just to not have a research task. And the more researchers in the higher up in their work's priorities will mean they will come to research more and get you that glorious goodness that you need for your colony. Now, I'll show you a couple of examples of how to use the transport pods alongside the mineral scanner to get your glorious resources quickly. Here I will show you how to use your transport pods to collect any resources that you have found in your long-range scanner. First, check on the world map that you have these mining icons where it says lump of whatever resource you like. For this example, I will use the compact machinery just because the amount of components that you find are actually wonderful. Now, the first thing that you need to do is 1. Identify the colonists that you would like to take. If there is threat of attack, make sure they are geared up. Next, you have to select the transport pods in which the pod launchers are all connected to each other. So these 3 are all connected, can be launched at the same time, and vice versa. Yes, this is annoying. So, you highlight all these with either holding left shift or however you'd like to do it, and then you click Load Launch Group. Now, we're going to send Frog and Tollburster Rolo, say that 5 times fast, and what items we'd like to send with them. I would recommend that you send them with a bedroll, just because in case they need to sleep, at least then they're not going to get the negative debuff, slept on the floor. As we all know, that's not a good time. Also, by sending them a couple of meals, we will make sure they won't starve to death. We would like our components, however, let's not do starving labour. And then this is the caboose of the plan. We are going to send some chem fuel. Now, this is not the efficient amount to send by any stretch of the imagination, as this is just a beginner guide, but as I'm sure you can work out, you would be able to work out the exact resources that you would need to take, as once we go, we are going to build a transport pod to come back. This will mean the transport pod that we build on the map that we go to will be wasted. However, we want the glorious resources that we are getting there, and steel and components are relatively easy to come by. Once the transport pod is loaded, you will get a notification, a little ding, and it will say up the top that the transport pod is complete or the loading is complete. Equally, you can click on the individual transport pods and it will tell you at the bottom, ready for launch. Once you are ready for launch, highlight all the transport pods that you would like and click launch, sending to them to the area that you have identified. Again, for this, we will send them here. Hovering over it does also just remind you what you're actually doing, just in case you forgot, like me, and are a bit inefficient. We will now collect here, and you can click drop at edge or center. This is highly dependent on you. It doesn't really matter like that much unless you anticipate a fight in which you might want to go to the edge. We will just click drop in at center. Going to speed 1, you will see the wonderful goodness of the transport pods launching. Good luck! You then click on the pod launchers and click build transport pods, and then more will be queued up by the colonists here to build again. At the top we can see your transport pods have arrived. You can double click on your colonists to instantly zoom to where they are. This is why I wanted to show you components. We're going to get quite a lot here. We're going to get a load here. But there's a few things that we would like to set up first just to make sure everything gets done. We've queued up the mine orders and we're going to queue up a stockpile. This is going to make it very easier when we are going home. We are then going to build a pod launcher to get back home and go on speed 3. Don't worry, we'll fly through this. It will be the lamest montage of mining you've ever seen. Oh, and don't forget to install your bedrolls, as we can see here. Tollbuster Rolo, say that 5 times fast, and Frog are now sleeping on the floor, meaning they're getting that debuff. Naughty, naughty. It is also worth noting that when we are collecting these resources, you will always get an event caravan detected. This normally means if you stay in an area unwanted for too long, you will be attacked. So, bear that in mind. However, you always get enough time to be able to finish what you're doing to then leave and come back. So don't worry too much. It's always a shock to begin with. Sometimes when you've underestimated the amount that you need to mine, you might find that your colonists are getting a little bit hungry. This is very easy to rectify, and you can go home, select one of your transport pods, and load in some more food. Let's say 8 this time. If everyone's sleeping, you can always just right click and get them to load the transport pod. Hopefully a little bit quicker than my colonists. And again, the same process. We launch, we select the one where our colonists are at. Make sure not to click the wrong one, as you will send stuff into the abyss and won't be able to collect it. And then you can select anywhere on the map for it to drop in. We will just select it there to treat our colonists. And again, build a transport. As you can see, my colonists are lazy. Once that is all done, you can then double click on the components. It will select all the components that are currently on your screen and it will show you 150. A nice amount if you've never done this before. Then the next step is to build a transport pod here to send the resources back. This is just a juggling act now to send everyone back. Send the colonists back last. So you generally want to leave whoever the constructor is last, so we will leave Tollbuster Rolo last and load this. So first of all, the most important thing is all of our components come home and we have a little bit of spare room. Sadly, not enough room for Frog. What we can do is just lower this slightly. This is the number we are interested in. There we go. This number will basically give us a warning that if the colony goes anywhere that's not home, we will be immobile. Dun dun dun. We will continue that, and now the colonists will start to load the transport pod, and again, rinse and repeat, and launch home. And then once they go home, we'll double click. The resources will come back to your base. And you can bring these glorious resources back, which in my opinion is much easier and quicker than deep drilling. Just be aware you might get attacked while everyone is away. Things to think about. I hope this quick guide has been helpful, and if there's anything else that you feel that could help new players, feel free to leave a comment below and help others through the wonderful world of Rimworld. As always, I'll catch you next time, party people. Bye!